Good morning from Puerto and Madryn in Patagonia, Argentina, where yesterday when I arrived it was sunny. The sun was shining, but today it's typical Patagonian weather. It's still miserable, but I'm out because in 1865 150 Welsh people, fathers, mothers, kids, all arrived here to start a new life. And this is the statue to commemorate the occasion, built in 1965 to commemorate 100 years of them arriving. And as you walk around, there is various other plaques. This is the 160th anniversary, and further down 150th anniversary, so they are quite proud of their Welsh history. Now, I knew about this place about 6-7 years ago, last time I was in South America, and it fascinated me, and this place has been on my bucket list for years to come down, and now I'm here. I want to try and find out more about this place. So on the side of the statue you've got the Welsh people arriving, all dressed very smartly after a long voyage. So why did they come here? Why Patagonia? Why not somewhere a little bit warmer? Because when they would have arrived, this would have been all desert land, empty. So the reason they left Wales was basically the evil English, as always. So by the mid 1800s, English influence was growing fast in Wales. The Welsh language was being pushed out, the Welsh religion was under pressure, and industrial life, it was harsh, it was crowded, it was just bad conditions. So they felt like their identity was being slowly erased. So they didn't want to escape, they wanted to create a new Wales. Somewhere that they could preserve the Welsh language, their Welsh culture, and the Welsh religion. So why Patagonia? They looked at America, but they realised there was too much English influence there. The same with Canada. And then the Argentinian government at the time went, come over here, we'll give you some land. You can be as Welsh as you want. So they came here. Now, across the road from where the statue is a tourist office. Got a tourist map, and they told me that if I walk about an hour down this way, I'll get a landing site of where the ship they were on first came to land. They suggested I take a taxi. Money is tight. I asked about a bus. Plenty of buses going that way, but you can't click on with your phone. They said I need to speak to someone in the bus queue, pay their money, and they'll get me the bus. I need the exercise, so I thought I might as well walk it. And I am wearing my hoodie that's been cleaned because, as I said, it is chilly. Still got my shorts on though. And I've got my headphones in to keep me occupied as I go along, seeing a bit more of the city. And the main guy who's behind this big adventure was a guy called Michael Jones. So he was a Welsh preacher and a proud Welshman. And basically he said, if we stay in Wales, we'll become English. Which, when you think about it, is not a bad thing, but they weren't happy. So he gathered farmers, labourers, chapel going families. They were just regular people. and that wind is strong. It's a good job I've got my little muff on my microphone, because all you'll be hearing is shh. Now the hostel I'm staying in, last video took you around it. I had one of the best sleeps I've had in a couple of weeks. Really comfortable. This morning, free breakfast. My God, it was massive. And I was talking to a couple who spoke English, and I went, "Oh, you're from England?" "No, we're from Wales. We are Welsh." Oops. So they've come from Wales to Argentina to here just to see what their forefathers did. Even the name of the city, Puerto, Madryn is Welsh, and it comes from an estate in Wales. I've actually walked a fair bit already. Not far left to go. On the 27th of July 1865, after 2 months at sea, they landed here. The ship Mimosa that they sailed on docked here. There is a sign to officially say this is the area, and you can see how far I've walked. You can just see in the background there a cruise ship. It's been an interesting walk. Along the way I've seen a statue of Don Quixote and for some reason a bicycle. But what were the reactions of the people getting off the boat, the ship? Yeah, not exactly what they were expecting, I don't think. And the ship was only here for a couple of weeks before it went on its merry way back to Wales. This land was not what they were expecting. The journey coming over, they had one marriage, 2 babies born. Unfortunately, 5 babies didn't survive. And when the boat left, the ship left, they were left on their own. They didn't have the materials around here to build houses, shelter, so they lived in caves. They just were not expecting this. So there's this monument up there that I'm going to go to. You can see the Argentinian flag and the Welsh flag floating in the wind. And it is sod's law that I get here and it starts raining. It's only spitting at the moment, but I'm gonna have a wander up there. So the 3 flags is the Argentinian in the middle, then you got the Welsh, and that one there is the Chubut region, which is the region that we're in, the province. Now when you do look around, you can just see how bad the land was when they got here. And the first thing they needed to do was try and find water, which they found really difficult. And it took a few weeks, months, before when they went out trying to find food, shelter, that the local indigenous people came forward to help them out. It was the Tehuelche people, and there's a statue of a member of the indigenous tribe looking out to sea going, there's Welsh people coming this way. But it was their people that helped the Welsh to find water, find shelter, get them to understand the land. And that must have been really crazy. Welsh people saying we need to keep our Welsh language, try to communicate with them in their language. Yeah, I really do find this so fascinating, and I'm really glad that I've walked up this way to try and understand Why? How? Yeah. Right, there's a museum down there, so I want to see if that's open or not. And just to get out this cold, it is freezing. Oh my God. So that's the museum just behind me. I actually thought I'd come onto the beach itself just to get a feeling of what they would have had when they first got here. So they would have got here July. I mean, that's like 2-3 months from now, and it would have been the coldest part of the Patagonia. Cold, miserable, grey skies, not too far off what it is right now. I mean, I've got my hoodie up because I am freezing, but at least I can go back to the hostel and get warmed up. But they would have just got here and gone, it's not exactly Disneyland. You know, 2 months of kids going, are we there yet? Are we there yet? And then this. Poor people. Yet they survived. Right, let's have a look at this museum. I do like this mural that takes you up towards the stairs. The Welsh dragon, the high seas, the people with their music sheets, their possessions, and what I assume is just the indigenous people. Wow. So it's the Museum of Disembarkation. I don't think it's open. So between March and November, it's open between 3 o'clock and 7 o'clock. Just after 1 o'clock in the afternoon, I've got 2 hours to wait. Or I think I have got the gist of everything. There are inside a model of the ship. There's old photographs, explains the hardship they had. I think I've covered everything. I mean, just down there is a burial ground. In fact, let's have a wander down there. And this is the burial area of indigenous and Welsh people. So before the Welsh arrived, the indigenous used the area. They camped here, they buried their dead here, and they had one skeleton that was 2,600 years old. And then when the Welsh arrived in 1865, people started dying, and this became the first Welsh cemetery in Patagonia. I mean, these are the only graves that I can see. And after a couple of weeks, maybe a couple of months of trying to survive here, the local indigenous peoples just grabbed them by the hands and said, look, you need to go inland. And that's where they went. They followed the Chubut River Valley up. They found a piece of land that they could actually farm, survive on. And that is Gamelin. And that is where I'm going to try and go to tomorrow. And this has been fascinating. I've loved every bit of it, even the weather, because that gives you a sort of sense of what it'd be like for when they first arrived. Maybe a little bit chillier. And because of the weather, it's cold, it's miserable. It's a long walk back. I've already seen it coming down. So I've looked at my phone. Uber does work. I was informed when I first got here, it didn't. So I am going to book a taxi to get me back to the hostel. But it's been fascinating. That is something on my bucket list that I've wanted to come to, and it's nearly ticked off because all I need to do now is go to Gaiman, the town that they settled down in. There is a bus, hopefully, that I can get from the bus station tomorrow depending on how much it costs. I was looking at staying in gaming, but the hotels are so expensive. So yeah, it's hostels here. I took a detour to the bus station, mainly to find out if there was any buses tomorrow going towards Gaming, the Welsh town where they set themselves up. And there are regular buses going all day. Now, I took an Uber, and the Uber I took was a motorbike, which is a first for South America for me, and it was cheap, 3,000 pesos, about £1.50. So that is going to be the next video, exploring the Welshness of Argentina. So I am now going to head back to the hostel because it looks like it's going to rain, and I'm praying that tomorrow's weather will be perfect for exploring. But if you've enjoyed this video of how the Welsh came to Argentina, then all you got to do is press that like button. If you want to see where they settled, then all you got to do is subscribe. But until the next time, I'm off to put more clothes on and keep warm. Bye bye for now.